Yo, what's good, y'all? It's NK I'm here with NK Rage,
Nope.
and you guys are now tuned in to Hoops World, man. Appreciate everybody coming out. Hit that like button. We're bringing you all NBA, every team. We're going to talk about it. So tonight we had the pleasure of watching the Clippers and the Suns game. The Clippers won 116 to 107. We talk about 3-point percentage. The Clippers shot 32% from the field. Free throws, they shot 92%. Assists. They had 29 assists, and they actually didn't shoot more than the Suns. The Suns shot 89 times, and they shot 82. But Ray, talk about the Clippers. What did the Clippers do so well this game that kind of was too much for the Suns? I mean, I think the Suns couldn't get really stops like that. In the late, like this game was kind of down the wire till like the third quarter. Then we seen teams go on a run, and I don't think the Suns really got any stops. But what did the Clippers do to you that was so good that the Suns couldn't handle?
So you were able to hold Devin Booker and CP3 to bad games, which is huge. At the end of the day, if Josh Okogie is the one beating you, I'm sure you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he had a great game and he looked
Yeah.
great, but you were able to get bad games out of both of their stars. Obviously, Aiton had his own, but it wasn't until later where he got that. And you were able to get high quality game out of Terance Mann.
Yeah.
He had 20 plus tonight.
Yeah.
You had Kawhi Leonard who wasn't really doing much, but you had Paul George,
Oh,
who was
man.
constantly after every Sun shot, Paul George was responding. He
Yeah.
was responding. You were getting offensive rebounds with Zubac. You were constantly in the mix with that. And like I
And
said, you were able to hold them on good. You were able to hold them to good defensive stops. So
yeah. And you think about Paul George, 26 points, Terrence Mann, 20. You're getting 26 from Terrence Mann. That you got 4 guys in double figures, and then actually 5 guys, Eric Gordon. Now, we talk about this before with the trade deadline. The 3 big winners of the trade deadline: Lakers, Suns, Clippers. And what the Clippers GM did to this team, they're just middle of the pack. The key moves he made: Bones Hyland, Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee. Very, very good moves. Just because the Clippers were a deep team before, but now they're even deeper. Because it's like there were times where Kawhi didn't have it tonight, but Paul George gives you 26, and you stagger that Paul George with the second team, they're still getting buckets like it's the first team because they're just so deep. You got Bones, you got Eric Gordon going crazy, and the Suns. It was just too much for the Suns. And I just think about this Clippers. If you're a Clippers fan, Rage, if you're a Clippers fan, how are you feeling going forward after getting Bones, Plumlee, Eric Gordon? They didn't even play Rocco tonight. He's a DMP. But how do you feel if you're a Clippers fan? Well, put yourself in a Clipper fan shoes, and say like, how do you feel right now about this team?
you were really able to go in the trade deadline and get good pieces that you
Yeah,
needed. You needed some guard depth. You were able to get that. You were able to get a backup center. You needed that.
yeah.
Yo, that team's going to be really solid, and that's going to be a team that teams aren't going to want to see. It's a,
And bro, they were saying they needed a point guard because they got rid of John Wall,
and Reggie
um,
Jackson.
and Reggie Jackson. And that was the key thing. Like, oh, the Clippers gonna get a point guard, and then they got Bones. And I just want to say, like, Bones, he is an underrated playmaker. I know he's supposed to be the scoring guard, and they might still go after a point guard in the buyout, but Bones, I think, could be a playmaker for them, a point guard for them, and facilitate. But that backup point guard, it still could be an option. I mean, I don't know if you think Clippers fans are satisfied with Bones, or they're gonna want another guy? I mean, you think about they got Eric Gordon too, but he's mostly gonna be on that scoring kind of flow on the off the bench. But I think Ty Lue's gonna like kind of tell Bones like, yo, I need you to get the assist, and I think Bones can do it. I've watched Bones play a lot in Denver. He can play make. He can play make when he's like he can score too because he's a good shooter off that three. He can play make, but do you think Clippers fans are gonna be satisfied with that, with Bones, kind of running that second unit? But you could also you see, this is the thing. They're so deep, you could put Paul George, stagger them with Paul George, because Paul George could be the guy out with the second team. So they're just such a deep team, man. I don't know. But yeah, so shout out to the Clippers, man. Again, if you're joining us, just hit the like button. Appreciate everybody that supporting Hoops World. So the Suns, man, 107, 116, 107. Let's talk about the Suns. We saw KD on the bench. Um, they shot, let's see, 47 from the field, 11 for 31 from the three, 35% from three. They actually shot not too bad from three. Equal turnovers. They both teams had 14 turnovers. 14 turnovers. Um, Again, I think you spoke about it before. Devin was just they locked in on Devin, man. They locked in on Devin, and Chris Paul can't give you 5 points. He gave you 11 assists, but he can't give you 5 points.
Devin Booker and CP3 cannot combine for as much as Josh Okogie got tonight.
Oh, exactly.
You can't. That can't happen.
Yeah. And DeAndre Ayton gives you 18. Look at their bench, and this is the issue that people are going to talk about the Suns. There's a two issue. They're going to talk about the bench scoring when KD comes back, and they're going to talk about the defense. People are going to say, "Oh, the Suns got no depth. They got no defense." Those are basically. If I'm a Suns fan, that's what I'm worried about going forward. Is our team good enough to be a good defensive team with KD? And also, are we going to have like that scoring on the back end with our depth? Are we going to have guys that can score? And then you think about TJ Warren. He was on the Nets before. We know very well TJ's game. He is a microwave scorer, and then they just added Terance Ross. Terance Ross tonight had 16 points, 4 assists, 1 for 2 from the foul line, and 1 for 8 from three. Ooh, we shot bad from three. How do you feel about Terance Ross's debut? Because Suns fans are going to want to know about Terance Ross's his debut. How'd you feel about it?
I thought he looked good overall. Yeah, he forced up some threes, and they weren't all going in for him, but he looked comfortable out there, and he was shooting well. And you know what? When things are all said and done, he's going to be able to give you good defense too. He's going to be really good off the bench. It was something that you wanted to get going into the buyout market. And the thing is, the Suns still have time to get more. Obviously that isn't over. And since the Suns obviously just got KD and they're looking like a primary championship team, players are going to want to go there, especially veterans who are going to be in the buyout market looking to win a championship. You're going to want to
Kevin Love. Kevin Love just got on the buyout market. They might get Kevin Love. Who knows?
And they've been looking at the backup big issue. Like you have Chuck Landell and you got Bismack Biyombo. I mean, obviously you're going to probably look for a backup center in replace of them because you don't know how that's going to look going into the playoffs. You'd probably prefer somebody else. So if you can get Kevin Love, I feel like that's not a terrible option. I feel like it's worth going after.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like if you got Kevin Love instead of Jock Landell coming off the bench, that's Kevin Love is a huge upgrade. And with the Suns too, early on in the game, man, really, really big standout that I think Suns fans, if I'm a Suns fan, that I would underappreciate is Josh Okogie, bro. This man was really good tonight, man. I mean, I just love his defense. He gave you he started 24 points, 3 steals, 1 assist. I'm looking at the box score, 6 for 12 from three. Although the Suns took the L, you just got to be happy about Josh Okogie. I mean, how do you feel about Josh Okogie, bro?
So being able to play defense against like their best guy and be able to be the leading scorer on your team is pretty significant when you have Devin Booker and CP3, although they didn't play great. I mean, he was great. He was great, and he was constantly locking up. Defense was great, and I mean, he was, like I said, he was the leading scorer. So I mean, you can't really ask more. He's locking up the best player on defense. You saw what Kawhi was doing tonight. Not much. Yeah. And you're able to get good threes out of him. And when he can take it to the rim, he's quick and he's aggressive. And he can shoot the ball.
Wing defender. Yeah,
he can shoot the ball. He's everything you want. I think you start him when KD gets here.
Yeah.
So that's another good option to have. You can kick him out. You can kick it out to him for a three, and he'll hit.
Yeah. Like I said, Josh Okogie, man. If I'm a Suns fan, I'm really high on him. But again, this was a game where the Clippers' depth was just too much for the Suns tonight, and they get it. Like I said, they have a bunch of guys that can play two-way defense. They did a good job on Devin. Chris Paul didn't give you enough. How many guys in double figures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. 5 guys in double figures. Eric Gordon just gave him a great amount of buckets. So again, this was just a good game to watch. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button. This is Hoops World episode 1. We'll be back. We'll be doing all NBA teams. Make sure you guys put in the comments what NBA teams you would like us to cover, what games you want us to talk about next. But I'm signing out. It's NKAJ, NK Rage. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, see ya.